The office is a place full of mundane tasks designed for efficiency, not gratification. In an attempt to cure boredom, people sacrifice efficiency and precision by using more primitive means of performing tasks. But why should people have to? Maybe efficiency shouldn't have been the focus after all. In a 2020 article, Forbes magazine claims that between 43 and 53% of the workforce is bored right now, with half of workers taking breaks of 10 or more hours a week. But it isn't because they don't have enough to do. It's because their work lacks meaning, so they look for engagement elsewhere. How can designers make work more engaging? Attempts have been made to change the office environment, with the disbandment of cubicles to the rise of open floor plans and now hybrid work from home models. Companies realize that people work better when they're happy and comfortable. With the pressure from COVID, Microsoft claims that 73% of employees want flexible remote work options to stay. With all these changes being made to the environment that people work in, why have no changes been made to the tools we use in the office? The stapler has remained virtually unchanged since the 1800s when it was originally invented. So, how can we start the beginning of a new train of thought? That is Grant Achat's motto, the owner of Alinea, one of the top 50 best restaurants in the world, where unheard of ideologies create a one-of-a-kind eating experience. Achat's will serve his customers a pile of wood that's on fire and trick you into thinking the fire is there for you to cook over. But when you think you're done, he reveals a surprise meal hidden in plain sight. A piece of chicken wrapped in black kelp roasted in the fire, completely camouflaged. Achatz claims that his goal is to subvert your expectations for what eating can be. He can make you think what you're doing is eating at a restaurant, but allow you to feel like you're at a theater or in therapy. So if you're in the office surrounded by tools that remind you this is an office, then you will never be able to feel like you're anywhere else. If you can change the way we interact with the tools we use for our jobs, then we can feel like we're in a workshop or in a studio. Kelly Lambert, a neuroscientist at the University of Richmond, coined the term behaviorceuticals to describe the positive mental feedback she witnessed when test subjects engaged in hand-to-brain activities. Lambert is concerned that in the office, quote, we just sit there and we press buttons and you start to lose a sense of control over your environment, end quote. While the act of something like knitting takes time, patience, and attention to detail, which increases certain neurochemicals. To test this, I had people use a stapler, staple remover, hole punch, scissors, and a tape gun, then asked them to describe their opinions of using each tool. One person described the tool's physical appearance as a very basic looking design where functionality seems to be the focus. And when I asked them how the tools made them feel, one person said, indifferent. I feel no emotion. In contrast, while talking with fine woodworker Yuri Zapletal, he described his tools as an extension of his body. And when talking about how they made him feel, he said, the process of using a well-tuned tool is such a pleasure. It makes me happy. Therefore, for my capstone, I hope to design a family of office tools that incorporate elements of traditional hand tools to stimulate your mind through interesting, tangible interactions and allow you to feel like you're doing more than just working in an office. Concept 1, a stapler where using a mallet and punch, papers can literally be riveted together. Concept 2, a hole punch that uses a crank to lift a weight and drops it onto a die punching the paper. Concept 3, an eraser that is used like a chisel and mallet with a brass frame paperweight holding the paper in place while you erase. I plan to spend the first few weeks brainstorming different tools and forms for these tools, then by milestone 2 have a direction that I can CAD and prototype for ergonomic studies, and then make one final model and keep the rest of the family of tools as renders.